Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we were diving deep into the life of a ruler who truly built an empire, Orhan Gazi, the second leader of the Ottoman state, while his father, Osman Gazi, is famous for planting the seeds of the empire. It was Orhan who cultivated them into a mighty and structured power. His reign wasn't just about battles and conquests. It was about vision, administration, and laying the groundwork for a legacy that would last for centuries. So who was this brilliant strategist and statesman? Let's find out. Orhan Gazi was born around 1281, right in the heart of the emerging Ottoman Principality. Growing up, he wasn't just a prince. He was an active participant in his father's campaigns, learning the art of warfare and leadership firsthand. When Osman Gazi passed away around 1326, Orhan was the natural successor, ready to take the reins and continue the mission his father had started. But Orhan had a grander vision. He understood that to build a lasting empire, you needed more than just a strong army. You needed a strong state. This understanding would define his entire reign. One of his very first and most significant achievements was the conquest of Bursa in 1326. This wasn't just another city. Bursa was a major Byzantine stronghold, a wealthy commercial hub. Its capture was a massive turning point. For the first time, the Ottomans had a true capital city. This provided them with economic stability from trade, political legitimacy in the eyes of their rivals, and a central base from which to govern. Bursa became the heart of the new Ottoman state, a place where Orhan could begin to implement his revolutionary administrative reforms. He moved away from the nomadic, frontier-style leadership of his father and started building a centralized, organized government. With Bursa as his new capital, Orhan Gazi turned his attention back to expansion, and his primary target was the weakened Byzantine Empire. He was relentless. In 1329, he defeated a Byzantine army, led by the emperor himself at the Battle of Pelekanon. This victory was huge. It shattered Byzantine morale and proved that the Ottomans were a force to be reckoned with. Following this, the strategic cities of Nicaea, also known as Iznik, fell in 1331, and Nicomedia, or Izmit, in 1337. These conquests effectively sealed Ottoman control over northwestern Anatolia, squeezing the Byzantines out of the region and pushing them back towards Constantinople. The path for future expansion was now wide open. But Orhan's genius wasn't limited to the battlefield. He was an institution builder, the architect of the Ottoman state system. He knew that a growing territory needed a professional army, not just volunteer fighters. So he established the first regular, paid military units, the Yaya and Musallam Corps. This was a revolutionary step that created a disciplined and loyal fighting force available at all times. Think of it as moving from a militia to a standing army. This military structure would become the backbone of Ottoman power for generations to come. Beyond the military, Orhan also focused on creating a functioning state. During his reign, the first Ottoman silver coin, the akçe, was minted. This was a powerful symbol of sovereignty and economic independence. It meant the Ottomans were no longer just a regional tribe, but a legitimate state with their own currency. He also established a more systematic bureaucracy, with viziers and judges to help manage the growing affairs of the state. He built mosques, schools, and public baths, not just as acts of piety, but as a way to project power and create a sense of Ottoman identity in the lands he conquered. Perhaps the most history-altering event of Orhan's reign was the moment the Ottomans crossed into Europe. This wasn't an invasion in the typical sense. The Byzantine Empire was embroiled in a civil war, and one of the factions, led by John VI Cantacuzene, asked Orhan for help. As part of their alliance, Orhan's son, Suleiman Pasha, was granted control of a small fortress on the Gallipoli Peninsula in 1354. However, a massive earthquake soon after destroyed the walls of the main city of Gallipoli, and the Ottomans simply moved in. This gave them their first permanent foothold in Europe. It was a strategic masterstroke that opened the door to the Balkans and set the stage for the empire's future as a transcontinental power. From this small base, the Ottomans would eventually conquer most of southeastern Europe. Orhan was also a skilled diplomat. He understood that power wasn't just about force, it was also about building relationships. He famously married Nilüfer Hatun, a Byzantine noblewoman of Greek descent. This marriage wasn't just a personal union, it was a political statement. It helped to build bridges with the local Christian populations and ease the transition to Ottoman rule. Stories say she became a key advisor and a powerful figure in the Ottoman court. Through strategic marriages and alliances like this, Orhan navigated the complex political landscape of his time, often playing his rivals against each other with incredible skill. His rule was known for its relative tolerance and justice, which made it easier for conquered peoples to accept Ottoman authority. Orhan Gazi ruled for about 36 years, an incredibly long and transformative period. He passed away in 1362 and was buried in Bursa, the city he had made his capital, next to his father Osman. But he didn't leave his empire's future to chance. He had carefully prepared his son, Murad I, to succeed him. Murad would inherit a powerful, organized and expanding state, ready to continue the project his father and grandfather had begun. So to wrap it all up, if Osman Gazi was the founder who laid the first stone, Orhan Gazi was the master builder who designed the entire structure. He transformed a small Anatolian principality into a true state with a capital, a currency, a professional army, and a functioning government. His conquest secured Anatolia, and his strategic leap into Europe changed the course of world history. Without Orhan's vision and administrative genius, the Ottoman Empire as we know it might never have existed. He was the quiet architect behind one of history's greatest empires. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Orhan Gazi, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from history. Let me know in the comments which historical figure you'd like to see covered next. See you in the next video.